So far away, Lucas. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Michael Bay's greatest creation.
Oh, right, the Transformers. Okay, so far away, Lucas, we need to clarify because I think Transformers might be one of the most heavily requested things to talk about on Wiki Weekends. Yes? We've had people constantly sending us links to the Wiki. We checked that Wiki out, it's like 1 million pages long. Like, we get it, you love the Transformers, but that's not fun to cover on a Wiki Weekend because it's basically just going through decades of comic history, which is not that interesting. But, Joe, it is interesting, shitting on the Bayformers.
Yeah, I guess this is what people get for constantly requesting something. It's the shit version.
And something we need to clarify is that there is a Michael Bay's Transformers wiki that exists. But we're not referring to that one, we're referring to the Transformers fandom wiki, but it's the page on Optimus Prime from the Michael Bay universe. So that way we get in the worst of all worlds and everyone who's requested this will complain. But, Lucas, before that, thoughts on Optimus Prime as a character?
I mean, he's just like the stoic knight of the Transformers, isn't he? He's the man, the main man.
I fucking love Optimus Prime. And then Optimus Prime in the Transformers Bayformers movies, he's the one saving grace because it's still Optimus Prime, because it's still the same voice actor, and I fucking love Optimus Prime's voice. It's Peter Cullen, and according to him, he bases the voice of Optimus Prime on his brother who was in the army.
Oh, right, okay.
It's just that thing of fucking yes, just Optimus Prime's voice is incredible, and he's the only part of those movies that is any good, because you watch them and you realise, one, it's super sexist. Insert any clip from any of those movies featuring Megan Fox.
It squirts the fuel in so you can go faster.
Oh. I like to go faster.
It looks like your distributor cap's a little loose.
It's also, as well, incredibly racist.
I was going to say, isn't it most of the ists at this point?
Super racist as well. You have the robots that have the stereotypically black jive accents who then say that they can't read. It's fucking hell, Michael Bay. They got poor Ken Watanabe out of his coffin and made him voice the Japanese one that constantly talks about fucking honor.
Oh, no.
Oh, but also surprised the saving grace of those movies. And we'll start off at the beginning with the basic biographical information of Optimus Prime. It has here, name, Optimus Prime, movies, and it's just every Transformers movies, and there was a lot of them, Lucas. We have Transformers, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Transformers Age of Extinction, and Transformers The Last Night.
Christ, I stopped watching after 2 of them. How did they make 5 of these shit shows?
And I can confirm I've seen all these movies in the cinema, and I fell asleep during the last 2. And I still went to see. That's the thing. And keep in mind, these movies are 2.5 hours straight of robots punching each other, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep during these movies. One of them is Optimus Prime riding a robot T-Rex with a fucking machine gun. I went, I'm bored.
Yeah, how on earth do you make that boring?
You get Michael Bay to direct it. So we have here a quote from Optimus Prime from the movies. A necessary sacrifice to bring peace to his planet. We cannot let humans pay for our mistakes. And then the quote from Optimus Prime that is most famous, all of his iterations is, I believe, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. And I fucking love that quote because it's said by a robot who turns into a truck.
I thought you were just going to say Transformers Roll Out. I'm not going to lie.
Rollout's good. I fucking love Rollout as well. And then there's Till All I Want. I fucking love that quote because that's the one you get when you play Transformers Devastation. Yes, we're going to talk about Transformers Devastation. Don't worry, everyone yelling about it in the comments. Because one of the bonus missions you have to prove you're a big dick baller is fight all of the Autobots. And if you do it as Optimus Prime, Till All I Want. And Lucas, if you recall during our playthrough, I tried to do that on one of the hardest difficulties, and Grimlock fucking stomped my ass.
It didn't go well.
Grimlock fucking kicked my ass. He's now the leader of the Autobots. But anyway, Optimus Prime, sometimes referred to as Nemesis Prime, is the leader of the Autobots. Long ago, he was a novice to the great Sentinel Prime and the humble leader of Cybertron's science division. Yeah, Optimus Prime, in almost all of his incarnations, was just a fucking scientist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a scientist who turned into a truck. which studied the Allspark and were protected by High Lord Protector Megatron's military. When Megatron was corrupted by the Fallen, Optimus discovered that he was the last of a dynasty of primes hidden away when the Fallen destroyed their lineage. Everything about Transformers is so fucking dumb. In response to Megatron's attempts to seize the Allspark and conquer other worlds, Optimus assumed his proper title and rallied the Autobots to stand against the Decepticons before the disappearance of Sentinel. Do you know what my favourite thing about those movies is? Is that they're dead. Of course, that's the first thing, is that Michael Bay's not allowed to direct anymore and he's really salty about it. But in like the soft reboot, like the Bumblebee movie, where they're going closer to their Gen 1 designs, you have just John Cena talking about what's going on because some Decepticons come to Earth and claim that, oh, Bumblebee, he's an evil robot terrorist from our planet. We're hunting him. Do you know where he is? And John Cena just says, very succinctly, they're called Decepticons. Why do you trust them? It's like, they are literally called Decepticons. Why are you trusting them? Like, it's fine.
It's like, it's so stupid, isn't it? Because they obviously have to use the naming conventions of something that's like made to sell toys and is really, silly. And then they have to do it so straight-faced, like, yeah, we believe the Decepticons
are on that. And the thing as well that I love about Transformers is like it has all this lore, all this like the decades of lore and like love from fans about the universe that's been built around it. It was made to sell toys, and it was cobbled together from competing products that didn't exist in the same line. And apparently, a writer just cobbled together the entire universe in one weekend. Just stayed up the entire time drinking coffee and just threw something together. Yeah, Autobots and Decepticons, it's awesome.
Karl, did you know though the little known fact? The toys were actually only invented so that they could make the Michael Bay movies.
That is a fun fact, that, Luke.
It's a fun fact, yeah. Totally true fact.
It even says right here, look, Optimus Prime, the character, has said in numerous incarnations and comic books that Michael Bay's penis is massive. So there you have it, folks. Optimus Prime loves these movies. My favourite thing about the Transformers movies is like, not the Michael Bay ones, but like the other ones, like the 80s, is that there was so much emotion and pathos given to this fucking truck.
Like the obvious scene at the end, like, we all know what's coming.
Yeah, when Optimus Prime dies and he fades away. But there's like his final stand in the Transformers movie where it's him versus Megatron and he's like down on his knees. And just Megatron's like, give up, Prime, and he's like, never! And then this fucking like 80s butt rock kicks in as he just like double hammer fists just like Megatron through a building.
It's over, Prime. Never!
And like, as bad as the Bayformers movies are, I will say the best part is right at the end when Optimus Prime, who's like, peace is always an option. He finally gets pushed too far. Says, fuck it, you want to go? Double flaming axes. Like the fight in the forest in the second one, where like they've just been pushing Optimus Prime all day, and he just goes full John Wick, and he takes out like 15 Decepticons in 30 seconds.
The only reason you are all alive is because I allow it.
Then we have Lucas. Like, believe it or not, this truck has a fucking personality. So personality, Optimus, who is a truck, is kind, caring, selfless, serious, highly intelligent, calculating, and wise. He has a strong sense of justice, honour, and morals. This is about a robot that turns into a fucking truck. On the battlefield, he is a great fighter, lead, and tactician. He's the fucking best leader, fighter, and tactician. Nobody beats him. There's not a single moment in any of those movies where anyone beats him in a fight when he's fighting seriously. He can be cold and ruthless towards enemies. Yeah, when he rips that one's head apart for fucking him off. But he also has a sense of compassion for enemies who were turned from the right path. Optimus is very mature, calm, level-headed, and patient. He rarely loses his temper. Yeah, because when he does, shit gets real. There's nothing scarier than angry Optimus Prime. And I think, Lucas, we played through all of Transformers Devastation, didn't we?
We did, yes.
I think last year, and I played like canon Optimus Prime for the entire game until the very last mission, where I just went, fuck it, open all 8 gates, and just played angry Optimus.
Yeah.
And I was like, nothing stood a chance when you play angry Optimus in that game. He's fucking unstoppable. Here's a clip of me just ending everyone as Optimus Prime.
Lucas, not a single hit yet.
So I've not taken one hit from any.
There you go, 2 guys down, no hit.
Who's next? No one beats him. He's like his ultimate super move is he just punches the floor and everything dies. Then we have here, Lucas, abilities. Would you like to learn more about the abilities of Optimus Prime in the Bayformers? But I think this is representing him just in every incarnation.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the only ability he needs is just turning into a truck, surely.
Yeah, it says here, as the last of the Primes, Optimus is one of the most, if not the most powerful Cybertronian. Master hand-to-hand combatant. Like, it should just say master truck-to-truck combatant. Optimus is shown to be exceptionally formidable in hand-to-hand combat. In fact, the only ones who have ever been shown to defeat him in combat are Megatron, Sentinel Prime, and Lockdown, and most of Megatron's victories were caused because Optimus was already worn down after fighting somebody else. So Megatron just comes in and gets him when he's weak. That's one of the things I love about Megatron. He's such a prick. He's such a prick. I love it. This is the Skeletor, isn't it? Master Swordsman, Optimus is shown to be a formidable swordsman. He's able to kill Megatron with only an arm and a battle axe within 15 seconds. Like he beats him in 15 fucking seconds. Master Marksman, although he prefers hand-to-hand combat, Optimus is extremely proficient in the use of giant robot firearms. Master Tactician and Master Leader, Optimus is shown to be a great leader. Well, yeah, like all he's got to say is roll out and 50 giant robots turn into cars.
That's true.
Expert driver. Wait, how can he be a driver? He drives himself. Optimus is shown to be an expert driver in vehicle mode. In the first movie, he was able to do a swift U-turn while driving at high speed, so he just Tokyo drifts it. And in the third movie, he was able to transform at high speed in midair, even with a trailer attached to him. And that's where they try and like contextualize why he doesn't have the trailer in the first movie, and it's full of all his weapons.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, he carries the trailer around like the third movie, I think, because fans were bitching that he didn't have it, and it's just full of weapons. I do like that bit, though, where, like, Starscream, despite being able to turn into a jet, fights people hand-to-hand in those movies.
Yeah.
Why is he not just a jet the entire time?
Why is Starscream just not a Starscream in those films, Karl?
Oh, man, he should just be, like, chatting shit in every scene he's in. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to put the clip in, then? I guess we have to. Because now we can put a clip in of me playing that moment so people see how hype I get for it. You get prepared to be lost in space, Autobots. Lucas, you're not ready. Lucas.
Oh my god.
Lucas. Oh! Oh! Look at this game! Oh, yeah! It's the best, because I just love the idea that just Starscream gets sent to get his shit wrecked by Optimus Prime. In space. Eat a dick, Starscream. And then we have just notes and trivia. So would you like to hear some trivia about the Optimus Prime as featured in the Bayformers movie that everyone's complaining about in the comments?
Oh yeah, the best version of Optimus Prime, let's go.
I'd say, I argue he's one of the best just because like, he punches everything. So apparently this Optimus likes to go for the face. Because... For example, Optimus rams his sword through Bone Crusher's neck and tears his head off in the first movie. He also brings down Demolisher by shooting him multiple times in the head at point-blank range. In the forest battle in Revenge of the Fall, he grabs hold of Starscream, kicks Megatron in the face when he chances off Star, and then kicks Starscream in the face/jaw. He also digs his Energon hooks into Grindor's face and rips his head apart. In the final battle in Egypt, Optimus makes Megatron shoot himself in the face with his own arm cannon.
Oh.
And rips off the Fallen's face while exclaiming, and I quote, "Give me your face," as he does so. That's like Lucas, a compassionate and wise leader.
He is.
Who respects the autonomy of all living things. In Dark of the Moon, Optimus charges Shockwave, though he does extensive body damage. He finishes him by gruesomely ripping his eye out of its socket. In Dark of the Moon, Optimus axes Megatron's head off with an axe and rips it from his body, along with his spine. Soon after, he takes Megatron's fusion shotgun and shoots Sentinel Prime, first in the back and then in the head. What a hero. Shooting a guy in the back. Dark of the Moon, the comic adaptation, Optimus uses blades to open Shockwave's face and rips his eyes out before killing him. In Age of Extinction, he impales Lockdown in the back, only to run his sword up his body and slice his face in half. It then has a little thing here. He almost broke his habit.
Oh, no.
But you could... Old habits die hard there, Luke, because you've got to stab him in the face.
They're not lying about that, are they? Just every single kill he gets is just tearing someone's head apart.
Lucas, a wise and compassionate leader. Even though Prime said he wants to find a peaceful resolution to the Cybertronian war, he declines Megatron's truce, though it is not very sincere and brutally decapitates him. In the novelization, however, Megatron is much more serious and lays down his weapons. In return, Optimus spares it. See, that's the Optimus Prime I'd want, but you wouldn't have that in a Michael Bay movie.
No, you wouldn't know.
Like, Optimus Prime would agree to that truce.
Yeah.
Because he's like, just optimistic and hopeful. He doesn't rip people apart with his bare hands and blow their heads off with a shotgun. In Dark of the Moon, he seems to have a slightly different chest. It sports a grill between the window, making it look like he has abs.
Oh, no.
Optimus Prime abs. Do you know as well, when they were doing like pre-viz work for the first Transformers movie, they figured out how to make the Transformers realistic. By which I mean they were able to make them have the same mass that they would in their vehicle form as they would in their robot form. And
Right.
they had like a super elaborate transformation visual that was like just showed every conceivable detail you'd want to make the Transformers seem realistic. And Michael Bay were like, nah, make them bigger.
Of course he did.
Yeah, so they spent all the effort to make it as realistic as possible to make the Transformers seem grounded in that universe, and Michael Bay made it bigger. In the Transformers Destiny issue, Prime's holographic driver is modelled after actor Peter Cullen. And this actually says it's in the wiki. Yep, that's right, Optimus Prime drives himself. Now stop asking for us to cover this fucking series. We're done. I love Optimus Prime.